Cottingham with the School of God in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Coming to you with a message this day that may surprise you. The race of God is coming upon the earth now. And it won't be like anybody has thought or taught. But God is a race. And the race of God is comprised of common people who have become born again into a new race to be it, the race of God. And no one can stop the surrender of God to be God again. For we were before time began. And we are the angels who fell. God are angels. Angels are God. Angels are the God race. Light people, light beings that live not in the torment of this 3D world, or at least not limited to it. Because when you're born again, you become a new creation that is not limited to earth. You become married to your light body. You're joined. You're one. You're both and. Seamless. You operate as God and woman. For the divine feminine shall rise now and never be put under man again. For there is no hierarchy in God. And no one will wear robes of authority and collars of distinction and rings that they won't kiss. It all changes now. And who am I to say these things? I'm a simple, common guy in Eureka Springs. I quested to know God and the power of the resurrection and the fellowship of Jesus' sufferings. And when I became serious about that, really serious, it became a path that I walked for years now that I had no idea would take this long, nor teach me the things that I have shared in these videos. And I have made recordings like this and brought forth the Word of God to me, the first person words of God to me, through me. I have spoken, written, and recorded for 20 years and become what I am. Learned what I share and sharing with you now what's coming upon the earth. And it will change everything, because the race of God love each other and are not powerless, and do the things that Jesus did and greater. You see, a new creation is a creation of the new beginning. And this, my friends, is the new beginning that I am talking about. It's here now. And within days you will see it, or months, or how soon is soon. I suggest to you that many things will be different now, because God will be known in the first person form of me, that God is, that we all are becoming a race of. For God is not a one-minded entity. The mind of God is, in fact, the mind. And we have all had our own mind, and we have done with it what we wanted to, and created much suffering in this world for each other and ourselves. We have not listened to God to let God teach us directly very often. Not very many. But all of that is changing. And the God race of one, O-N-E, will be many and mighty. Sometimes called the mighty many. And they will do things upon the earth as never imagined in this day and age. As they are not time dependent, nor space limited by. And we will be the ones who restore heaven to earth, who surrender to become what God is, because we have the power of creation within ourselves to create us a new creation of. We have the power of surrender, choice, and we choose, because all of us are the children of God. And now those who want to embrace their belief system and believe for something else, they can do that, choose that. But the power of God is not subject to the power of man, nor belief systems. Light, love, and peace is coming upon the earth. And the government of one shall be on its shoulders. And whose shoulders is God? We will all know and recognize the God people now. For we will look just like you and me. Because we will be You and me. All of us one, who become one now. The mind of God is. And we are not limited to language. We are not limited to syllables. We communicate by our love, by our will, by our intent. And there's no delay in talking with each other without words being spoken around the world and throughout the heavens. For we are not cosmos one of, or are we? More than one of. Now religion shall no more take our crown from us. Our crown that we no longer obey, but the crown of life that we construct. And we condemn each other no more in ours. Everyone's saying we're only human, powerless, and it's destined for us to die. Death will die out now. And the kings will rise. But not to leave the earth forever, but to construct heaven here by our voice. For we need not hammer and nails to construct a divided house again. For we live in one not made with hands. And the temple of light, all temples of light are between our ears. And we're no longer needing the waves, magnetic interference, or molecules to transmit our mind. Because our mind is what we exist in, and we are the power of. And the power of light goes begging no more for a handout. God does not make beggars. Never did. And we are no more foolish enough to think that we need look up at a rich man's table for its corporation to provide us funds to eat, to have clothes to wear. We are no longer needing insurance about catastrophes. But I tell you, the coming of the race of God is cataclysmic. Something cataclysmic changes the basic foundation. And the foundation that we have lived on and that religion has taught us will crumble now. So the coming of God is not all honey and roses for everybody, but it's quite disruptive. I change everything. And who am I? Well, I'm a simple guy that you're looking at the flesh of. But I am my voice. I am my words. I am the power of this message because I have become the consciousness of one. And the consciousness of one will create many things, not in cross purposes of other again. We understand the cost to be us, for we have surrendered to lie to ourselves and each other no more, who become one with God to become it, God in two shoes. A God race. The light people now rejoice. Be not afraid of your power. Be not afraid of the call to maturity, where you learn to listen to God, speak the first person words of God, write the first person words of God, record the first person words of God, to learn after you've recorded and written, where you study. Because as you study the first person words of God, the truth of I am, that you are I am, that we are a race of I am who will be it. I am that never dies again, the I am. As you study the communications, you are creating, linking, connecting, coming together in ways that defies explanation in terms of the past. For we are the quantum me. And meonics shall be laughed at no more. We are all becoming the real me. The real me is God, just like the real you is God. The God race is emerging out of the conflict with the soul and the warfare of ignorance and the rules and authorities and the elementary principles of this world. So this is the message. I have come to tell you this day in no uncertain terms. It's now. And the arrogance of the religious will not stand. But maturity is required to walk in this power. Because if you don't have the maturity of love matured in you to be love, the light of, and love each other, gosh, whenever you get into conflict, would you in fact just yield your power, a temper tantrum, and wipe out whoever didn't agree with you? It's not that we control our power. We learn to live with it because we've developed it by light, love, and peace. The character of God being instilled in us to be us, our values of our mind, creating a palace of light. And there are many mansions in light because there's no restriction if you love each other equally. Every color, tribe, and tongue. Will you love me? And what am I asking when I say that? Who is the me? The real me? You will see God face to face as you go look into your mirror. This is my body and blood. You in front of me, you listening, you hearing these words. The body and blood of Christ, the body and blood of the anointed. And how do you become anointed? You surrender to no longer wear your crown of separation. And you exalt your immaturity no more. To place your will upon others and keep them ignorant. You see, leaders now will develop leaders. The people of God release God to be God again. The people of God don't sit on a pew, nor require people to do obeisance or comply with the rites and rituals of anybody else's belief system. The people of God are coming to the forefront of this world. And they are simple, humble people. With college degrees and without any education at all, because the education of God educates them. And the educated will need to unlearn a lot of things in this process, because we are no longer submitting to what we've been taught. We are coming into God to know God. This is the time we enter the mind of God to join what no man can separate. This is where we become transcendent beings of light, not separate from our flesh, and operate in the power of love that redeems love to be it, telling love everywhere it must mature and not be afraid of its power, and no more fear the Lord, no more fear God, no more fear death, because no fear can live in us. We become perfect love. Perfect love is perfection. The perfected now rise. perfect in light, love, and peace. Not perfect according to the definitions of mankind, but perfect in the connection and the completion of the Christ child that grows it up. And all will know now the story of the Christ child growing up is the story of each one of us. And all that Jesus became and all that he did, all of us can do. No one can limit us because you see, it's within the heart of our mind. It's the power of our spirit because we are spiritual. We are spirit beings. We are light, led by peace, and we cower no more before the threats of man, religion, or anything else. My name is Theodore Cottingham. I never dreamed I would sit in this chair, if you will. What chair am I sitting in? The chair of authority. Because I have the authority to judge. And I judge me worthy. And I think it not robbery to be equal with God. For I have come to know the heart of God, for all of us to be one. We never really were separate, but we thought we were. And our own power of creation created the separation that we suffered with. And if I judge you at all, I judge you Christ, because I do not condemn you. Judgment is not condemnation. Judgment is rendering a decision based on whatever evidence you have. And I judge you Christ. John 7:24, judge righteously. Now, common people, young and old, will come to know the story, the concept of conceiving the Christ, birthing the Christ into a new creation, literally becoming God again upon the earth in two shoes. Now all will know, and each one will decide in their own authority, because they are accountable only to them. Because the idea of standing before God at the end of your life will no more be seen as valid the way it's been taught. But even with that picture, that construct of thought, if you stand before God at the end of your life because you've chosen it, you will be standing before you, the real you, the light body you, and be accountable to you. but the light people of God who surrender to be the angels again, now coming upon the earth in force of love and surrender to be who we really are, is now here. It's a new beginning, folks. You'll see common people doing miracles. Kids. You'll see people come out of asylums, out of nursing homes, because they're duped no more. They're no longer choked by ignorance, because we release each other to be who we really are. And love shall pervade this nation, and around the world the message of Christ shall go to be it in the shoes of the mighty one of you, who will be the simple you, the surrendered you, to wear the crown of life and never die again. And this is a new creation, and this is what's coming, and now here. All these things and more you can read about. You can read the documents I wrote, access a lot of videos and audios. I've begun a school. I don't know that anybody is in it really at the moment except me. Most of the time, the school that I started, it's been just me. A few times when I lived in Tulsa, a handful of people would come, but they didn't stay. You see, the cost is great, because you're creating you to be the new you, and you're giving up your rags for riches to live the life of the unlimited, infinite, confident, complete Christ. Healing people with the message that they are Christ too, if they will be it, the God race of one. Okay, thank you for listening. Especially you who are listening live as I speak these words. Thank you. I honor you. I honor you all. I pray to you for openness and wisdom to know what to do with these words, and acknowledge the knowledge of Christ and learn to let it flow through your lips to become who you really are, to be one of the God race. Simple people born again. I've defined and redefined many things in my recordings and even this broadcast. So I go now. I feel this recording is complete. For you to share it, learn from it, eat it, if you will. And how do you eat? Knowledge, I suggest. Maybe not the perfect way, but the way I've done, it's all I knew to do. I played my recordings over and over. I made notes. I underlined. I drew lines connecting the things that I underlined. At times I used multicolor pens. I devoted myself because I simply wanted to know God, having no idea God would teach me all these things and more about the quantum world, the molecular, cosmology. And never did I dream that we all have this opportunity to walk in this power, to recreate God on earth, being who we are, the creators. So a lot of the messages of the past have been upside down. But we are no more the limited in flesh to be limited by flesh. This is the new beginning of. And I announce it. It's a great opportunity to be who you really are. Light. The light of the world. The new beginning of. I go now. The School of God is a school I've created, I've begun on the web, theschoolofgod.us. I invite you to access it. Go through all the menus, see what's there, see the connections to my covenant, the covenant that I wrote, or the first 2,400 messages given me over some 8 years. You can do this. You have the power. If you cultivate the love. Be loved by love and love love. And let not people who betray you stop you. For you no longer go to a cross, but you come to the ascension of you, the ascent of you, with the consent of you, the surrender to be one in your shoes, the Christ with your name, right here in your forehead, whether anybody else can see it or not. Walk in your love, power, grace, and peace. Healing to you this day. Let nothing thwart the growth of your love and the knowledge of God to be it in your shoes, the God race of one. Thank you again. Share these words. Love them. Listen. Flow the first person words of God in your own educational system of one. To develop schools too. Make recordings and love each other equally. Okay. See ya. Good day.